In this video, I'm going to share the super secret way to get into a convention for free. Welcome back, my love. If you are new here, hi, I'm Hana. This is Hanabi Craft, where I try to craft a life worth living. And today we're going to be talking about Naka-Kon. Normally, in my yearly review of Naka-Kon, I say that I'm not affiliated with them, but I can't say that this year because I was on staff this year. But that said, I don't speak for Naka-Kon, and everything that I say in this video is my view, not any word on high from Naka-Kon itself. Now that we have that legalese covered, the numbers that I'm going to say in this video may or may not be the correct numbers for next year. This is for informative purposes only. If you would like to be staff for Naka-Kon next year, you should follow them on social media. They will say when staff applications open. They have information on their website about what each of the sections do. So let's start with how you get in for free. You just have to volunteer a minimum of 8 hours to have 100% of your badge covered. If you volunteer 4 to 7 hours, you'll have 50% of your badge price covered, but anywhere from 8 to 23 hours volunteer time for the convention will 100% cover your badge. Neither of these tiers requires you to attend the staff all-call or any special trainings. There are plenty of opportunities to volunteer at con, so if all you want is your badge covered, I would suggest going to see where they need some bodies. Badge checkers for panels are always a hot commodity. You can easily get some hours doing that. I'm not on the volunteer staff. I urge you to do your own research and figure out who you need to talk to about your volunteering. For the higher tiers, it's going to seem really insane to get that many hours, but I promise you there are things to do before the convention weekend. I was asked specifically by the director of cultural events to do some costumes for a couple of the mascots this year.
Anna made this. Can you do me a favor and say Hana made this? Hana made this!
And so before the convention even started, I had 93 hours on the clock. And then the hours that I got at the convention pushed me into the highest threshold, which means that I got 50% of my room covered. Just for me, my roommates each had their percentage of what was covered. The highest one person can get for a room coverage is 50%, and that was at 96 plus hours for 2005. If you have 50% room coverage and you have two roommates and they are both at least 33% room coverage, guess what? Those things add up to more than 100% room coverage, and that means you get your room free. If you have 25% room coverage and you are rooming with 3 other people who all have 25% room coverage, which is anywhere between 27 and 47 hours, by the way, then your room ends up being free. This year, all of the staff rooms were in the convention hotel at the Sheraton. I don't know about last year because I didn't staff last year or the year before that, but this past year, every single staff room was at the Sheraton, which is a huge benefit if you ask me, even if you do end up having to pay the discounted rate for your room. I will say that anything over 24 hours, at least this year in 2025, again, it may change. You had to attend special staff training and, go to meetings and stuff, which every time you go to a meeting, you're supposed to log your hours. So if you hop on the staff train early and you attend all the meetings, you can gather some hours. You do, however, have to log your time. This is an active thing. If you don't log your time, those hours don't get counted and they don't go toward offsetting your badge or your room costs. Now, because I was on staff, I ended up getting 131 hours on the clock. I didn't get to go to the charity ball. I didn't get to go to the dance party on Friday night. I didn't get to go to the cosplay contest or the Sunflower Idol contest. I also pushed myself a little bit hard, so I will probably dial back my at-convention hours for next year if I staff. I will either staff or do the VIP experience next year so that I can share what the VIP experience is like. I did get a little taste of the VIP experience because staff who worked 24 or more hours in 2025 got early access to the vendor's room, which I showed a walkthrough of in my last video. Go check it out if you want the best con shopping experience ever. I don't know that I ever want to shop at a convention not during the VIP hours ever again. It was so delightful not having the press of all the bodies and the number of people stopping to take photos in the vendor hall during the regular vendor hours. Can we just stop that? Can we please just stop that? I think I need to make a video about convention etiquette because, guys, please be aware that there are other people around you. Stopping to take a photo in the middle of a very high traffic area is a no-no, especially when there is a specific area for photos to be taken in the dealer's room. It's not that far a walk. Please, please, I'm begging you. Anyway, here's the rundown. We arrived on Thursday and did setup for the Kimodameshi. The Kimodameshi, if you've never been, is a test of courage. We put on a little haunted house filled with yokai of different types, and there are tasks that must be completed, yokai to be defeated.
You're being filmed, don't swear. Okay. Right, remember, don't touch the mask. It's the Tsurara
This
Ona.
year, there was an infinity mirror representing the rift for the timey-wimey multiple tomo lore thing that happened. Did you know this convention has lore? I'm going to have to do a video on the lore of Naka-Kon because I'm not talking like someone defecated in the gazebo lore. I'm talking actual story lore with the mascot who is portrayed by an actor every year. I don't know of any other anime convention that does that. Anyway, the mascot leads a group of people through the maze, and so we had to get that set up. There was a drawbridge over the rift that had to be activated to come down. It was really cute.
Wait, get across the bridge. One at a time, get across the bridge. I'll try to help her.
I didn't do it last year, but there is footage from the year before in my Naka-Kon review, which I will link up here. There were multiple mascots this year. If you don't know the story, you can go to the Naka-Kon website where they have a compilation of the plot of past years, and you can figure out what was going on with that. But I did have to make 2 of the mascot costumes, and then I did dress all 3 mascots this year, which means that for every event that the mascots were at, I was busy dressing them beforehand, which meant that every event that the mascots were at, opening ceremonies, the Kimodameshi, the Matsuri, the Kimodameshi again. Oh, what else? I think there was something else on Saturday that the mascots did. They may have gotten out of costume and then had to get back in costume. But on Sunday, there was the obstacle course and then closing ceremonies. So I did spend quite a bit of time being a wardrobe mistress and making sure that everyone looked their best. On Saturday, I did appear at the Matsuri dressed in my Cult of the Lamb but Make It Edwardian part of the costume that I did have finished. I didn't get to finish all of the costume, but that's okay because people recognize me and that's what's important, and I will finish the rest of the costume and then I will have a video up about it, but I don't know when that's going to be because I'm not going to rush myself because I'm still recovering after Naka-Kon. Most of the rest of my time was spent walking around getting footage for the cosplay highlights video, which, funny story, the very first people that I walked up to on Friday was a group of beautiful, beautiful women in fabulous costumes. And I walked up and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys look so great. I'm doing this cosplay highlights video. Can I ask you to be in it? And they agreed. And then I was telling them about, this is in slow motion, so movement looks really, really good. And I was like making eye contact with all of them. And I made eye contact with the third woman and I realized that I was talking to Yaya Han. I had not recognized her before that moment, so my brain just kind of cut off and I gave her a little bow, and then I thanked them profusely, and I completely forgot to get their social media information. That is not all, though. The next day, on Saturday, I went to the restroom, and I saw this woman in a beautiful cosplay, and I was like, oh my god, your cosplay looks so great, and then I realized, again, I was talking to Yaya Han. Who is a shapeshifter. She's amazing and she's so sweet, and I am so thankful for the opportunity to get to talk to her and to have her in the upcoming cosplay highlights video. Another thing that staffing this year was 24 hours or above got you access to is Staff Den, which was a little room where they had snacks and drinks and 2 meals a day for the staff. There were things like catered rice bowls, and there was pizza one day. One morning we had mochi donuts. Hawaiian Brothers was catered, things like that. Personally, it wasn't great for me because I was on a very low carb diet. But my dietary restrictions are very severe because I'm trying to keep my blood sugar really low so that my A1C does not skyrocket and my doctor does not yell at me again. Lovingly, if you're planning to staff and you don't have dietary restrictions, you should be fine. If you do have dietary restrictions, it would have been smart of me to plan a little bit better to feed my own self, since it is kind of difficult to exist within my dietary restrictions without hand making all my food, which I usually do at home. I did survive the weekend, obviously. In addition to all of the other benefits, if you staff a certain number of hours, you get a nifty staff badge, which has different art from the attendee badge. You get both because when you're not on staff, actively staffing, you're supposed to use your attendee badge. If you staff enough hours to go to the Dead Dog Party, which is the after convention party, you do get the opportunity to pick up some of the art from the convention. They do have hotel keys that have different art on them. These are the VIP badges. There's old merch you can pick up from previous years. Cute little charms and stuff laid out on the grab it table. You also get a staff shirt, which I think they're all in the wash because they were worn that weekend, and a staff lanyard. Because I did staff so much, I was given the opportunity to be part of the prize raffle at Dead Dog, and I won a choice of a fan or a beanie. I did choose the beanie to give to my son, which he has promptly lost, so I can't show it off. But my very good friend, who is the director of charity, already had one of the fans, and so when she won her prize, she picked a fan and gave it to me. Thank you so much, Alice. I love you so much. This was not my first time staffing at Naka. I have staffed in the past, and I am really good friends with a lot of people on staff. It really is like a family, and I don't want to say that it's cliquey, but the people who have been there a really long time, you know, we're kind of tight-knit. It's not that we don't welcome newcomers. It might feel like you're on the outside, but really all you have to do is put yourself in, get to know us, let us get to know you, and you too will become part of the family. That's the thing about Nakama. We're crew, we're family. We stick together. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. And not just for the benefits that staffing gives you. The connections that I have made with the other people who staff Naka-Kon are lifelong friendships. And, you know, when you go through something like 3 solid days of working very closely with other people on something that you're very passionate about, there are bonds that are forged that very little can break. I am so grateful to all of my Nakama for the wonderful experience of getting to work with them again. I am so grateful to all of the cosplayers that I got to meet, that I got to talk to. I didn't get any footage of Saturday. I'm very sad about that. But while I was dressed as Lambert from Cult of the Lamb, I did have fruit snacks and Kool-Aid jammers in my bag. And I would ask people to join my cult. And if they only wanted to be like a surface level cult member, I would feed them their little berry bowl and give them their fruit snacks. But if they really wanted to drink the Kool-Aid and ascribe to the tenets of the cult, then they got to actually drink the Kool-Aid. And everyone was so entertained when I would pull out a pack of Kool-Aid for them after asking them if they wanted to drink the Kool-Aid. So that was super fun, and I will probably do that again at some future point, especially when I get the rest of the costume done. I only have, you know, the corset cover and the blouse and the skirt and the chemise to do, right? I've got the corset and the petticoat done. Halfway there, right? So that is my, I guess, review, even though it's not very review-y. They did have 2 bunny bar events. I didn't get to go to either of them. I did get to make friends with the person in charge of Bunny Bar, so stay tuned for some interesting stuff about that. I did not get to pop in at Maid Cafe either. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't do. Every year, Naka-Kon does a lot of things, and it's kind of hard to pack your schedule full of everything and then also do the things that I was responsible for doing at the convention. But that said, I did have fun. I spent time with people that I really enjoy, and that's what matters to me. So Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please consider giving a thumbs up and leaving a comment because those things really, really do help with the algorithm. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. I am getting ever closer to the 1,000 subscribers that I need in order to achieve full monetization, which is my goal for the end of the year. If you are interested in getting notifications of my video drops, after you hit the subscribe, hit the little bell icon and then it'll send you a notification every time I upload. I do also have memberships enabled that gives you early access to my videos. I will say I need to get ahead so that the videos drop more than like 2 hours before the general public gets to see them, but that's in the works. I promise. I'm working really, really hard on it. Memberships are entirely optional. You do not need to give me your money in any way, shape, or form. What I do require from you, though, is that you drink water, that you eat food, and you do something to feed your soul. Please do your best to craft a life worth living. I promise you, I am doing mine. I am taking care of your friend. Please take care of mine. I'll see you next week.